My question was regarding a tendency that I have always had all my life. It was regarding quitting things when they get extremely tough.
One has to love himself a bit more and say, yes, it's difficult, but for me, batsman who has been performing greatly at the Ranji and the Dilip Trophy levels, but in the international match, a similar delivery and he loses his wicket. Why? Something in him tells him, I don't belong to. That has to be challenged.
Namaste Acharya ji. My question was regarding a tendency that I have always had all my life. It was regarding quitting things when they get extremely tough. Like I'll give you a short example. Let's say when I was preparing for my JEE, there were questions that were kind of easy, like direct formula based. There were questions that were kind of a medium level, and then there were questions which were very tough and they combined multiple concepts. So I usually went with the easy questions and I solved them, and when it came to the tougher questions, I quit. How do I change this tendency? How do I address this tendency and get better? How do I?
It's about the self-concept that we carry. That self-concept is not innate, but it gets built over the several years. If your self-concept tells you you do not deserve to crack the toughest question, then you will not put everything into cracking the toughest question. In fact, you will needlessly make any question the toughest one. You have to tell yourself that you deserve to solve even the toughest problem. And then the tough problem is no more all that tough. One has to love himself a bit more and say, yes, it's difficult, but for me it's doable. If situations, upbringing, media, influences, education, they have all conditioned you into thinking that you must always stay one level below the best, then something very strange will happen. Even when the opportunity to be the best will come to you, you will miss out on that opportunity. It happens a lot of times in sports. Great players belonging to the A League. You understand the A League? Just one level below the topmost level, let's say the international level. Great players belonging to the A League, performing magnificently. When they finally get a chance at the highest level, they flop dismally. Why? Why? Something in them is constantly whispering, you are great, but only at the penultimate level. This top level is not for you. So a batsman who has been performing greatly at the Ranji and the Dilip Trophy levels, he gets his test cap, and 5 consecutive times he gets out to pretty harmless deliveries. Pretty harmless deliveries. In the domestic circuit, he has been constantly dispatching similar deliveries to boundaries. In a domestic match, if you give him a similar delivery, he will flick it to the boundary. But in the international match, a similar delivery and he loses his wicket. Why? Something in him tells him, I don't belong to the topmost level. That has to be challenged. Whosoever it is who told you that you are not good enough has to be rejected. And we all have influences in our life whose job has been to tell us that we are not good enough. In matters of love, love itself is the qualification. No other qualification is needed. Nobody else is needed to tell you that you are good enough. If you love something, you are already good enough for it. Love is the qualification. If you love mathematics, your love makes you good enough. You don't require an external agency to come and certify how good you are. I love it, and I'll keep having a go at it. Getting it? Huh? Tell yourself, yes, it's a tough problem, but I'm tougher. बाप कौन है? तू tough है? I'm tougher.
Thank you, sir.
Pranam Acharya ji. So you said that one should first stop and reflect what he's doing. Isn't that also a choice? Like, is it?
Yeah, that's a choice. That's everything is a choice. To be alive is to be responsible for choosing every moment. You cannot give up that responsibility. And those who do not take that responsibility, they become slaves. Slaves don't have choices. In fact, that's the very definition of slavery. No, you will not have choice anymore. Now you're a slave.
Can it be called love?
Yeah, of course. How else will you choose? If you choose in compulsion, that is no choice at all. So the only right basis of choice has to be love. But you cannot love without understanding. So even before love comes understanding then. If you love without understanding, then that's just basic animalistic attraction. Even animals are attracted. But human beings love. And to love is to first of all understand. So understanding has to be the basis of choice. And that requires constant attention. You have to be present. From that comes choice.
Just download the Acharya Prashant app, and there you go to the community section, and you have live testimonials streaming in at the rate of 1 every 5 minutes. I'm seeing lives change in thousands, if not millions, every day in front of my own eyes. We are doing it.
Right.
We have actually done it.
Join the community of more than 2 lakh participants on the Acharya Prashant app. Your first month is completely free. You'll get full access to Gita Mission. On the app, you will get regular live sessions, daily exclusive conversations with Acharya Prashant, access to the vibrant Gita community, wisdom exams, curated news, audiobooks, quotes, and much more. Search Acharya Prashant on Google Play Store or Apple App Store and download now.